Winter weather is hitting hard across the United States right now, and I want to walk you through what's happening, why it matters to you, and what you should be doing about it. More than 9,000 flights canceled or delayed. 3 people have died in California floods. Highways are shut down from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts. And if you're in the path of tonight's freezing rain or tomorrow's blizzard conditions, the decisions you make in the next few hours could be critical. I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes giving you straightforward explanations and practical advice. No complicated meteorology lectures, no overwhelming technical details, just clear information about what's coming, why it's dangerous, and what you need to do. Think of this as a conversation with someone who cares about your safety and wants to help you make smart decisions. Let's start with the big picture so you understand what we're dealing with. Right now, the weather pattern across America is stuck. Think of it like a traffic jam in the atmosphere. Storm systems keep following the same paths over and over because the jet stream, that river of air high above us that steers our weather, has gotten into a pattern that isn't budging. One branch of this pattern keeps pumping moisture into California from the Pacific Ocean. Another branch keeps pulling cold air down from Canada into the Midwest and Northeast, while also drawing moisture up from the south. The result? Active, dangerous weather in multiple places at once. This pattern isn't going to break anytime soon. We're looking at similar weather continuing for at least the next 2 weeks, maybe longer. That means more storms, more snow, more ice, more cold. You need to think of this not as a single event, but as an ongoing situation that requires sustained attention and preparation. Now, let me break down what's happening in different parts of the country, starting with where the danger is most immediate. If you're in the upper Midwest, across the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, you're dealing with blizzard conditions right now or very soon. The snow itself is significant, 5 to 8 inches in most places, but it's the wind that makes this dangerous. We're talking about sustained winds of 35 to 40 miles per hour, with gusts up to 70 in some spots. That's nearly hurricane-force wind combined with falling snow. Here's what that means for you. Visibility drops to nothing. You literally cannot see the road in front of you. Snowdrifts form quickly, blocking roads and driveways. Wind chill makes the cold dangerous to exposed skin. If you're in this area and you're not already home, get home now. If you are home, stay there. Don't convince yourself you can make a quick trip to the store or to check on something. People get stranded and die in these conditions every year because they underestimated how quickly things deteriorate. Chicago is right in the path of this storm. The timing matters here. This afternoon, snow arrives and winds pick up. By early evening, you're in full blizzard conditions. If you work in Chicago and you're thinking about staying late at the office, don't. Leave early. The roads that are manageable at 3 or 4 this afternoon will be impossible by 6 or 7 tonight. I know that's inconvenient. I know it disrupts plans. But getting home safely is more important than finishing that project or attending that meeting. Cleveland, you're a few hours behind Chicago on this timeline. Late afternoon and tonight are your dangerous period. Same advice applies. Don't wait until conditions are already bad to try to get home. Plan ahead. Leave early. For areas near the Great Lakes, there's an additional factor called lake effect snow. Here's what's happening. Cold air from Canada is blowing across the Great Lakes, which are still relatively warm. The lakes add moisture and heat to that cold air, creating narrow bands of intense snowfall on the downwind shores. Western Michigan is already buried. Western New York, from Buffalo through Watertown, you're next. Northwestern Pennsylvania, around Erie, same thing. These lake effect bands can drop 2 to 4 inches of snow per hour. That's not a typo. 2 to 4 inches per hour. In these bands, you can go from clear roads to whiteout conditions in minutes. There's no safe way to drive through that. If you live in lake effect snow areas, you know the drill. Stock up now while you can. Food, water, medications, flashlights, batteries. Make sure you have a way to heat your home if power goes out. Check on elderly neighbors who might need help. Clear your driveway and sidewalks when you can, but don't overexert yourself. Shoveling heavy snow causes heart attacks, especially in cold weather. Take breaks, work slowly, ask for help if you need it. Now let's talk about the Northeast, and this is where tonight gets particularly dangerous because of freezing rain. Here's the situation. A winter weather advisory is in effect from 4 p.m. this afternoon until 2 a.m. Monday morning for areas north and northwest of New York City. This includes parts of Connecticut, the Hudson Valley, and northwest New Jersey. Places like Peekskill, Rockland County, Kingston, northern Fairfield County, parts of Passaic County, western Bergen County near Mahwah. The forecast is for freezing rain with ice accumulation up to 0.2 of an inch in the hardest hit spots. If you don't live in these areas, you might be thinking, that doesn't sound like much. But let me explain why this is serious. Freezing rain creates a coating of clear ice on everything. Roads, sidewalks, power lines, tree branches, everything. You can't see it on roads. It looks wet, but it's actually ice. Your car has almost no traction. Even four-wheel drive doesn't help on ice because the issue isn't power, it's grip. Your tires simply cannot hold on to an ice surface. 0.2 of an inch is enough to bring down tree branches and power lines. It's enough to make roads completely impassable. It's enough to cause power outages that could last for days. If you live in the advisory area, here's my advice. If you have errands or shopping to do it now during daylight while conditions are still okay. Get home before 4 p.m. if possible. Once that freezing rain starts, stay put. Do not try to drive on icy roads. I don't care how short the distance is or how good a driver you think you are. It's not worth the risk. If you lose power tonight, are you prepared? Do you have flashlights, batteries, candles, and matches? A way to heat at least one room of your house? Food that doesn't require cooking? Water? If the answer to any of these is no, take care of it in the next few hours while you still can. It's better to have these things and not need them than to need them and not have them. For those of you in New York City itself, along the coast, down into Philadelphia and New Jersey, you're getting rain, not ice. That's less immediately dangerous, but it still affects travel. Rain reduces visibility. Roads are slick. Airports are already backed up with over 9,000 flights canceled or delayed since Friday. If you're trying to fly in the next day or two, expect problems. Check your flight status obsessively. Have backup plans. Most airlines have waived change fees, so if you can reschedule, that might be the smart move. Let me shift to California, because while we've been focused on winter weather in the East, the situation in California is actually more immediately life-threatening. Between Christmas Eve and today, parts of Los Angeles County have received 11 inches of rain. That's nearly a year's worth of rain in a few days. The results have been catastrophic. Flash floods, mudslides, at least 3 people dead, about 100,000 people without power, 380 households forced to evacuate. The mudslide danger is particularly serious in areas that burned in recent wildfires. When fire burns through an area, it changes the soil. The soil becomes water repellent instead of absorbent. When heavy rain falls, instead of soaking in, the water runs off immediately, carrying mud, rocks, and debris down hillsides at high speed. These debris flows can bury homes, sweep away cars, and kill people. They move too fast to outrun. If you live in Southern California, especially in or near areas that burned in recent fires, and officials tell you to evacuate, do it. Don't wait, don't think you'll be okay, don't stay to protect property. People die every year in mudslides because they didn't take evacuation orders seriously. Your home can be rebuilt. You cannot be brought back to life. More rain is coming this week. The pattern is persistent. Take the warning seriously. Now let me give you some practical advice about winter driving, because a lot of people are going to have to drive in these conditions at some point, and I want you to know how to do it as safely as possible. First principle, slow down. I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but let me be specific. The speed limit you see on signs assumes good conditions. On snow and ice, cut that speed by at least 15 to 20 miles per hour. More if visibility is poor or roads are particularly bad. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it takes longer, but arriving late is better than not arriving at all. Second, increase your following distance dramatically. In good conditions, you should be 3 seconds behind the car ahead of you. On winter roads, make it 8 to 10 seconds. Here's how to measure it. Pick a fixed object ahead like a sign. When the car in front passes it, start counting 1001, 1002, and so on. If you reach that object before you finish counting to 8, you're too close. Back off. Third, be smooth with everything. Smooth acceleration, smooth braking, smooth steering. Jerky movements break traction and cause slides. If you need to slow down, start braking early and apply steady pressure. If you start to slide, take your foot off the gas, don't hit the brakes, and steer where you want to go. Look at where you want the car to go, not at what you're trying to avoid. Your hands naturally steer where your eyes are looking. Fourth, know when to quit. If visibility drops to near zero, if you're sliding repeatedly, if you see multiple accidents, find a safe place to pull over completely off the road and wait. Turn on your hazard lights. Call someone to let them know where you are. Wait for conditions to improve. It's not worth risking your life to reach your destination a little sooner. Keep an emergency kit in your car. A blanket, flashlight, first aid kit, snacks, water, phone charger, ice scraper, small shovel, and sand or cat litter for traction if you get stuck. If you do get stranded, stay with your car. Run the engine periodically for heat, but make sure your exhaust pipe isn't blocked by snow. Crack a window slightly for ventilation to prevent carbon monoxide buildup. People die every winter from carbon monoxide poisoning in their cars because snow blocked the exhaust. Let's talk about your home. If you're expecting ice accumulation or heavy snow, take some basic precautions now. Charge all your devices. Fill some containers with water in case your water supply is affected. Move any medications, flashlights, and emergency supplies to one easy-to-access location. If you have a fireplace, make sure you have firewood. If you have a generator, make sure you know how to use it safely and have fuel. Generators must be run outside, never in a garage or enclosed space. Protect your pipes from freezing. Let faucets drip slightly, especially faucets on exterior walls. Open cabinet doors under sinks so warm air can circulate around pipes. If you're going to be away, don't set your thermostat below 55 degrees. If pipes do freeze, shut off your main water valve immediately. Frozen pipes often burst when they thaw because ice expands and cracks the pipe. When it melts, water pours out. Let me talk about checking on others, because this is where we can really make a difference as a community. Elderly neighbors who live alone are particularly vulnerable. They might not have family nearby. They might have trouble getting out to buy supplies. They might not fully understand the danger. A simple knock on the door to ask if they need anything can be life-saving. Do they have food? Do they have heat? Do they need help with anything? If you have heat and power but your neighbor doesn't, invite them over. Share what you have. This is what community looks like in practice. We take care of each other. We don't wait for someone else to do it. We just help because it's the right thing to do. In Scripture, Jesus said, "Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me." That includes checking on neighbors during winter storms. For those of you with children, this is a good time to talk about winter safety. Teach them to dress in layers. Make sure they understand frostbite warning signs, numbness, tingling, skin that looks white or grayish. Teach them that if they start to feel really cold, they need to come inside immediately, not push through it. Set time limits for outdoor play. When it's really cold, even 30 minutes outside can be too much for children. If your kids are older and driving, have a serious conversation about winter driving safety. Make sure they know to slow down, increase following distance, and call you if they get scared or conditions get bad. Tell them it's okay to pull over and wait. Tell them it's okay to be late. Their safety is more important than any schedule or deadline. Now, I want to address something that I think causes a lot of unnecessary stress. Weather forecasts change, sometimes significantly. Models disagree. Forecasters adjust predictions as new information comes in. This doesn't mean anyone is incompetent or wrong. It means weather is complex and forecasting has limitations. When you hear someone say snow amounts could range from 4 to 8 inches, they're not being vague. They're being honest about uncertainty. The atmosphere doesn't follow a script. It's chaotic. Small changes in temperature or storm track create big differences in outcomes. What does this mean for you? Stay informed, but don't obsess over every forecast update. Check reliable sources once or twice a day. Look for trends, not specific numbers. If every forecast is showing a major winter storm, prepare for a major winter storm even if the exact amounts vary. If forecasts are showing a dangerous ice event, prepare for dangerous ice even if the exact locations shift slightly. Focus on the big picture, not the details that might change. Also, forecasts beyond about 7 days get really uncertain. If someone tells you with confidence what will happen 2 weeks from now, be skeptical. We can identify patterns and say things like, below normal temperatures are likely to continue, or additional storms are possible, but specific details that far out are just educated guesses. Make decisions based on reliable short-term forecasts, not long-range speculation. Let me talk about something that doesn't get discussed enough: the mental and emotional toll of winter weather, especially when it's prolonged. Being cooped up inside, dealing with cold and gray skies, worrying about travel and safety, it wears on you. That's normal. If you're feeling anxious or down, that's not weakness. It's a natural response to challenging conditions. Stay connected with people even when you're stuck inside. Call friends and family. Video chat with loved ones. Check in on people who live alone. Human connection matters, maybe especially when we're physically isolated. Find ways to make your indoor time enjoyable. Read books you've been meaning to read. Watch movies. Do puzzles. Cook something you enjoy. Take care of your mental health as much as your physical safety. If you're a person of faith, lean into that. Pray. Read scripture. Find peace in the knowledge that you're not alone even when you're isolated. Psalm 46 says, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." That's not just poetry, it's truth you can rest in. You don't have to handle this all on your own strength. Looking ahead at the next week or so, here's what to expect. Tomorrow, Monday, temperatures actually warm up a bit for the I-95 corridor. New York City hits 48 degrees. That's above normal for late December. Enjoy it while it lasts, because it's only for one day. Tuesday drops back to 32. Wednesday, New Year's Eve, 35 degrees. Thursday, New Year's Day, 33, as we start 2026. If you're planning to watch the ball drop in Times Square Wednesday night, dress warmly. Temperatures will be around 31 degrees at midnight. That's not dangerously cold, but it's cold enough that you need layers, a good coat, hat, gloves. Celebrations are fun, but frostbite isn't. For the Midwest and Great Lakes, the cold and active weather pattern continues. More lake-effect snow is likely throughout the week. Temperatures stay below normal. If you live in these areas, this isn't a one-and-done situation. You're in for an extended period of winter weather. Make sure you have adequate supplies, not just for this storm, but for ongoing winter conditions. California, more atmospheric river storms are possible this week. The pattern is persistent. Stay alert for flash flood warnings and evacuation orders. Check forecasts daily. Have an evacuation plan ready if you're in a vulnerable area. Don't get complacent just because you made it through the first round of storms. Let me share some wisdom from Proverbs chapter 27, verse 12. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. There's profound truth in that simple statement. Wise people recognize danger and respond appropriately. They don't ignore warnings, they don't assume everything will be fine, they take reasonable precautions. That's not fear or paranoia, that's wisdom. At the same time, we don't have to live in constant anxiety. 2 Timothy 1, verse 7 says, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Preparation and peace can coexist. You can be ready for what might happen while also trusting that you'll get through it. That's the balance we're aiming for. Let me address a question I get sometimes. Why prepare if God is in control? It's a fair question. Here's how I think about it. God gave you a brain, knowledge, and ability. Using those gifts honors Him. When you see a storm forecast and you stock up on supplies, you're exercising the wisdom He gave you. When you help a neighbor who needs it, you're showing the love He commands. Preparation isn't a lack of faith, it's faith in action. Noah built an ark before the flood. Joseph stored grain before the famine. Jesus sent disciples ahead to prepare for Passover. Throughout Scripture, we see examples of people taking practical action while trusting God. They go together, they're not opposites. So prepare your home, check on your neighbors, drive carefully, And also rest in the knowledge that God is with you through whatever comes. Let me give you a quick checklist of things you should have done or should do soon. If you haven't already, stock up on essentials: food, water, medications, batteries, flashlights. Fill your gas tank. Your car is more than transportation. It's a potential emergency shelter and power source. Charge all your devices. Know where your important documents are in case you need to evacuate. Have cash on hand. If power goes out, credit card machines don't work. Have a plan for your pets. Make sure they have food, water, and a safe place if you lose power. Know how to shut off your water and gas in an emergency. These shutoffs are usually near where the lines enter your house. If you don't know where they are or how to operate them, figure it out now, not during an emergency. Test your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. When people use alternative heating during power outages, the risk of fire and carbon monoxide poisoning increases. Check in with family members, especially those who are elderly, have health issues, or live alone. Make sure they're prepared. Make sure they know they can call you if they need help. Exchange contact information with neighbors. If cell service goes down, know who you can physically walk to if needed. If you take daily medications, make sure you have at least a week's supply. If you're running low, get refills now. Pharmacies might be closed or inaccessible during severe weather. If you have medical equipment that requires electricity, like oxygen concentrators or CPAP machines, have a backup plan. Know where you'll go if you lose power. For those of you who work from home or run businesses, think about how weather might affect your operations. If power goes out, how long can you be offline? Do you have backup systems? Have you communicated with clients or customers about potential disruptions? A little planning now prevents bigger problems later. Let me close with some perspective. Winter weather is challenging, but it's temporary. Storms pass, temperatures moderate. Spring always comes eventually. In the meantime, we do what humans have done for thousands of years. We prepare, we adapt, we help each other, we persevere. And if we approach it right, we come through it not just intact, but closer as communities and stronger as individuals. You're going to get through this. Take sensible precautions, make smart decisions, help others when you can, don't take unnecessary risks, and trust that the same God who created weather systems and controls the wind also cares about you personally. He knows what you're facing. He's with you through it. In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus tells us not to worry about tomorrow because each day has enough trouble of its own. That's not permission to ignore the future or fail to prepare. It's wisdom about where to put your mental and emotional energy. Handle today well. Prepare reasonably for tomorrow, but don't borrow trouble by worrying about everything that might go wrong. The key information you need to remember: blizzard conditions in the Midwest with dangerous winds and snow through tomorrow. Freezing rain tonight north and northwest of New York City with up to 0.2 of an inch of ice. Continued flooding danger in California with more storms coming. Cold pattern persists for at least 2 more weeks. What you need to do: get home and stay home if you're in dangerous weather areas. Stock emergency supplies. Check on vulnerable neighbors. Avoid unnecessary travel. Drive slowly and carefully if you must travel. Follow evacuation orders in California. Stay informed through reliable weather sources. What you need to remember: you're prepared. You're capable. You're not alone. Help is available if you need it. This will pass. You'll get through it. God bless you, keep you safe, and grant you wisdom and peace through these winter storms. Stay warm, stay safe, and look out for each other.